Pow! I don't know why I'm doing that today. Boom, bang, boom. I like this game. It fills me of happy energy.
Agreed.
And so what's literally going to happen is something that was discussed in the chat, the off-stream chat. Is on that first night of rest, Tobias easily finds somewhere to shelter. Even though it's snow as far as the eye can see, that there are things. Tobias, as a keen hunter who has lived in this area, you can find berries that live under the snow. You can find little caves and things to spend a night in. You find like a little sort of area where the wind doesn't bite to set up a camp and things. And literally what was discussed is that Virik takes his mask off.
Yeah, he would sit down at the fire, take off his mask, and start eating.
I stare for like just long until I realize I'm staring, and then I'll look away. And I'll go back to staring.
Okay, if you go back to staring, mate. You okay? Hello?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I haven't seen quite that complexion amongst your kinds. Are you?
Oh, sorry.
Are you ill? Are you okay?
Oh no, I'm fine. Sorry. The blue eyes might throw you. I normally have red eyes. If that might spark what you know.
It's entirely up to Erin how much she knows, and it's also not unreasonable for her to not know. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's less of a thing, especially actually where she's from. It's less of a thing, like just in general.
Yeah. So I normally have red eyes. My kind aren't usually liked much, and I say that lightly. Usually not liked with like spears and angry torches and stuff. Have you heard the term draft?
I will be kind of going over him, like kind of like examining him, like trying to see like magic going on or
something
bullshit.
You do notice is that he has a welling of shadow magic inside him, which isn't on the divine sense thing, but it is in like the Jarviskjir.
I like
thing. That. Fell magic is inside him.
So I will bring that up. You seem to be cursed in some way. I can see the shadow magic emanating off of you. Yes.
Well, I mean, shadowy stuff. I mean, I've sort of been doing that more recently. That's the people who trained me. They were able to do things like disappear and reappear and like awesome, cool stuff like that. That's why I asked them to train me. But I didn't know I had much more than just being able to run a little faster.
Well, unfortunately, I can't perform the exorcism myself, but I'm sure we can find someone.
Oh no, I don't want to get rid of it. It's fun. It's useful.
I heard
like, of course it is. Like, I'll kind of like pat his hand.
I kind of perked up at the word exorcism. What's this?
If he says, what's this? I'm going to say, apparently I felt magic in me.
Really? Well, that's fascinating, and I'm going to pull out my book. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, I will kind of like this. I'll describe like the aura around it, even though he can't see.
Oh. Yes, just so you know, because this is actually something Barut would better explain. It's like, that is the magic of the Shadowfell, essentially. The Shadow Realm. Also known as Uhagar.
Mostly just wondering how it appears and how you're able to see it, and, why is it emanating from Virik? That's fascinating.
What I would do is I would actually be like, I can do stuff like this, and I'm going to do essentially flurry of blows, but at nothing. And what you see is like his fists move really fast, and you'll almost see like echoes in shadow of his fists as he goes.
Which obviously just sets your divine senses off even more.
Yeah, that will have to be removed.
No.
Well, of course you feel that way. It's tainted your soul.
Virik would actually stop and think like, well, that can't be right. The only nice drow were the ones that had this.
Tell me more about that. Is there a split culture then between those?
I don't know details, but I mean, the ones that smuggled me out, they were all using this, and like, it's how they defended us when we were going through the Underdark, and I asked them to train me because it looked useful and pretty cool, actually.
Fascinating. And is it only Drow that can do this?
I had no idea. They could do it. Now, apparently, I can do it. That's a new thing, by the way.
I noticed you were when we were at Chasmguard, you were trancing sitting up. You were, I believe, emulating my position.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really tranced like that. Like, what do you see when you trance? Yeah, Virik wouldn't know how painful that is.
This is the first time you've ever seen Burwitch shut up, and he just kind of sits down and puts his notebook down and never mind that. What do you see when you trance?
I mean, I used to just like relax and then trance lying down, and I just get flashes of memories. A lot of them unpleasant. Just life. The majority of my life has been like that. So I mean, a couple of them were good towards the end. But like recently, I've having much more vivid flashes, or back to my training, and like I didn't understand as much of it back then as I'm understanding now.
That makes sense. And is
It does?
interesting. Yes. Let me think on that for a bit before I.
Okay.
Yeah. And Burwood's gonna shut up for a while. And
you get a nice long rest of peace.
I was just going to say, as soon as Brewitt like stops talking, Tobias just looks to Virik and is like, "You need to do that every night." I don't know what you did.
I know, it's cool, right? Like, they could do it. I couldn't do it back then. I tried.
No, I meant this, and just like
Oh,
pointing
make
to
him shut up.
Brewitt,
Oh,
like
right.
sitting in
I wouldn't
silent.
know. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah, that was
I
weird.
just fluff up my clothes or
And
whatever.
then, like, I'll like whisper to. Like, it's not rude to ask about the whole trancing thing. Is I don't know. I've never. Yeah.
for the first time, you'll see Burwitt holding something in his hand. It's a trinket. Probably wouldn't be able to see what it is, but he's flipping it around and just looking at it and playing with it and just being quiet. And he won't speak for the rest of the night, even if you try and talk to him.
Oh, okay. Go and sit down. Worried that he's like offended him or something.
Next morning, you continue to travel. As you do for a few more days. It's actually 4 days of travel till you reach the outskirts of Jotunskirk. It's never that dangerous. No animals or beasties attack you because Tobias knows not to keep going east, because when you start walking on the ice and not walking on the rock, there are things under the ice that do want to see you because they want to eat. You start to see an old forest. I mean, these edges of it have some newer plants and trees that are more accustomed to, but then when you start moving into it, Barut, it reminds me of the Aelenai forest surrounding Thundral. These trees are very big and have these large overgrown roots that actually resemble the way the brambles twisted and curved out of the forest, out of the hedges at the Baroness's manor. When you start heading in, it is just a complete change from just a white environment of snow to this dark, still cold, still a little snowy forest of old trees. Question is, what are you looking for, and how are you going to find it?
What a solid question.
Best thing is Varric's looking for something that you guys aren't looking for. Like
Looking on the
everyone's, like,
ground.
and I'm looking for ground and looking for rocks and stuff.
We'll get back to
Points
that.
of interest. Points of egress and ingress. Areas that might have been recently traversed. Basically looking for, did something come through here recently? Did something leave recently? Is more what I'm looking for than something entering, because I imagine that's probably even harder to find, and therefore might actually be what we're looking for.
Survival rolls.
Me as well.
Yes, you're not looking for this though. You're looking for your own thing.
Yep. Oh no! It was so almost so good.
Almost.
About right.
That's exactly what I had happen too.
Like I said, you kind of were walking in without a plan, and you maybe even go for like a couple of hours into the forest proper before you kind of realize you don't have a plan. And Virik is slowing you down a bit, kind of not listening to the advice, scrabbling around on the floor, maybe even occasionally picks up rocks and shows it to Tobias, and is like, nah. It's Barut who keeps looking around, looking for the places where someone would have left. Occasionally you find signs of maybe like a human camp or something of the sort, and that's not surprising, seeing people try to come in here and find shelter from beasts outside, but there's never any sign of life in them. There's just maybe a spent fire that's been spent for several days, and maybe even a tent, and no bodies or anything. You decide after basically an entire night of looking to camp up. Please give me a survival roll with advantage, Tobias, to find a nice camping spot. Yeah, you find somewhere safe, actually quite near one of these already existing camps, because it was kind of made near like a nice pool of fairly fresh water. You camp up, you set up for the night, and probably well, actually, what are your watches?
Virik would like watch probably in the middle of the night. Like, oh, actually, he would trance early when it's still like a little bit light, and then he would watch the rest of the night when it's real dark.
I'll take first watch.
Whatever's left. I'm not fussy about it.
That doesn't really help me.
I will
I
take
mean,
that.
what happens is
Gonna watch.
it ends up being.
I'm gonna watch for
it-
4 hours, and then I'm gonna trance. Or no,
Yeah, and then
2
Virik's gonna watch.
trance, whatever the.
Oh, you just let the elves watch?
Yeah,
I guess.
I
you
mean, we
might as
technically
well.
can, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
They're
fair. The system works.
Yeah.
Nighttime's where I'm at my best, so
Yeah.
I'm happy to do that.
Give me
Yeah.
perception checks.
hey.
I will
Okay.
take that.
Nope.
Nighttime is where I'm at my best. The dice know. The dice always know.
Nice, dude. Everything must be right in the world.
It's actually when you're on watch, Virik, and maybe even climb a tree again when you're not trancing, and kind of looking around, your drow eyes seeing keenly in the dark. Although it's a forest, not something you're entirely used to. It's a rocky forest, just like the one you traveled in before, but much, much denser. You actually see a person. Not near your camp, doesn't seem like they've noticed your camp. A large person, immediately comparable to the frame of Hull Giant. You don't see the details because they're on sort of the edge of your dark vision, where you can just sort of see the movement, and maybe a little bit more in the moonlight. But they sort of actually look like they go to where this fresh water is, collect a sort of bowl of it, and then start leaving off in a direction, kind of more northwards. But actually, Virik doesn't really know north or south.
Nope. But I would
They went
take
that
very
way.
good note of where that is, like where they were taking the water from, and I might actually try and get someone up. Like I'm gonna try and get someone else up. If Brute's trancing still, then I would actually go to Tobias and sort of just
Yeah,
gently
wake
wake
up the
him
ranger when you have a ranger's job you need doing.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm basically gonna say that I saw what you said. I saw a large humanoid get some water from something off that way. I don't know much about this. Do we need to go now, or can you track him in the morning, or do you need to go there now to check the tracks, or what?
Yeah, so this guy, he's not within sight.
You can't see it.
Oh
Yeah,
no, he would be.
It's dark, of course. Yeah.
And at this point, Virik, you can't see him either.
Yeah.
There's
So,
already
yeah,
Like, I
I
have
guess
like
that's
120
Yeah.
dark vision.
It's on the
So
edge.
like, and it's at the edge of that. So
Okay.
he's way out there.
He's pretty far. Okay. Yeah, I'll just be like, oh, that's concerning, but I imagine there will be tracks in the morning if it was right there. There's no way. You said it was big, like giant. How big?
And I would sort of try and like, because he was far away, I wouldn't have the best knowledge, but I would try and like.
Around 8 feet tall.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, there's something that size definitely left tracks.
Okay, good.
I think we're best off waiting till everyone else can see. I know that's not ideal for you, but
Oh no, that's fine. I understand.
I can't track it if I can't see the signs he's
Yeah,
left.
I'll just keep an eye and make sure he doesn't see us. And I'm
Yeah.
actually gonna start like, do we have a fire going at this point, or would it be out?
I imagine when you're on watch, you put it out.
I would put it out. Yeah. Okay.
Just makes
I would
sense.
start just like looking, trying to make sure the area directly around us still looks like wild. Like if he had any tracks, I would start trying to cover it up, and just trying to make sure that there was any chance of that guy seeing any sign of us. He had to be right on top
Give
of
me a
us.
survival roll.
Okay. Well, this is gonna be great. -1. I'll take it. It's not much, but it's something.
Kind of hard. He's rustling a lot. Kind of like hard to sleep. It's making a lot of noise.
Sorry.
In the morning, you aren't attacked by this thing at all. It's one of the things where even the morning isn't that bright because just the tree cover here blocks a good deal of the sun. What's the plan? You immediately gonna try and find tracks?
Yeah, once
I
we
would-
get up, I would like to go over and examine that area.
Give me a
I would take
survival
him
roll.
straight to the exact place if I can.
And these
With
tracks don't appear
advantage.
monstrous, do they?
They appear to be humanoid feet, unfortunately.
But that's a 20.
Ooh.
It's one of those things where you say a creature that big should leave tracks, right? You nearly notice none at all at first. Maybe a creature's big and has a very gentle footfall. Maybe Viric's an idiot and it was a small creature. Maybe there wasn't anything there at all.
That is a possibility.
But what you actually notice is Viric said that it was collecting water. And it's kind of a dry morning. Unlike where there's some dew on some plants, but doesn't have like a sort of moisture in the air. You actually notice like areas where there's splashes of water that totally shouldn't be, or where was moisture, and it's a long shot, but nothing else would cause this, and you can start to follow it with your party.
Yeah, I will convey this information to the rest of you guys and say, whatever was here didn't leave any tracks behind for one reason or another, and it's possible that it may be even trying to conceal its tracks, but something was definitely here. And you mentioned it getting water. I think there's a trail that we can follow.
We need to
Okay.
be careful. Getting water usually is something that's done as a job for a community, not just for a self. Could have been just for themselves, but it could be for a community as well. We might be walking into an entire society of them, and they don't exactly seem to be the type to reach out. They might not exactly like people coming into their territory. We need to do this with tact and care.
I just kind of
I
pat
would-
Barut on the shoulder, and I'm like, well, I'll handle the following them part, and you can handle the tact and care.
I could scout ahead. I'll go with an eyesight, but I'll like, you can point me in the direction. I'll go as far as I can that way. Before I don't know where to go, and I'll wait for you to tell me a new place to go, and I'll sort of sneak ahead, that sort of thing. See, it's better than nothing.
Give me a sneak roll, a stealth roll, Viric. Because you got a 20, you don't need to roll again. You
Hey,
can easily
I'll
follow
take-
those tracks, and you can kind of guide him sort of like with a hushed voice as you just start traveling deeper into the heart of the forest. Viric kind of keeping to the plant life. Actually, it's quite a nice place to sneak through. There's these huge tree roots in some areas, and even you start to notice that there's almost like below the tree roots and below the rocks and snow and plants you're in, sometimes there's areas below, like these almost root and rock caverns that occasionally you might dip into and then climb out of to just travel a little more stealthily. As you travel, you notice the sort of a dip. And Virik, from your position ahead of the party, you actually look into kind of a inset town, or village, more accurately. You can see on the far end, what looks like the giant ruins you've seen before, like a very large stone structure inset into a hillside, but much more decadent. Like you can actually see like the head of a giant carved onto the side of it, and it's coated in these roots and these plant lives. But the actual village itself is very primitive looking. Some of the buildings are actually carved from roots, sort of twisted and turned, and they have either like sort of fans of cloth that make areas of darkness, and you can see a couple of people pottering around, but it's very early morning. The people you see look as big as the person you saw before.
So I'm going to do the whole like, and then just sort of, if that's in shot, I'm going to be like,
Yeah.
that to sort of get them to walk up slow as they can, because now they don't need to rush. Like
Stealth rolls,
them to
unless you want to just sort of go up here and look. I mean, actually, yeah, it's to just follow him. That's fine. Never mind.
Okay.
We're not going to the town yet.
If you want to give perception rolls to see what you see, feel free. If you get me.
Look,
You're a
I'm
ranger.
learning.
My goodness.
Look, I'm learning. I did my disadvantage this time properly.
We are bad at seeing things.
Oh, I'm terrible at seeing.
You
things
see
like-
this village, you see the kind of the people in it. You can't really figure out details about them. They're in this sort of weird area where the roots kind of stretch over the settlement in such a way that it's cast in like a permanent gloom. It's pretty hard to see inside, even for a drow where you have to kind of look through light into darkness. It's very
Yeah, I was going to
awkward.
say that actually sounds like it'd make it worse. Like,
Yeah.
the actual bits of light would be so bright compared to the
Beams
rest
of
of
light that catch through. Exactly, yeah.
Is there anywhere around here that we can see a better vantage point?
If you were to go on top of it, or that sort of ruin that you see off to the far end, which is again like sort of inset into like a cliffside or something, so you could climb that, or go round it from behind.
I would suggest that we don't just walk in there, and I suggest we try and get another better look. I don't know if anyone else is having trouble seeing through this, but we might want to see what we can see properly before we just walk in there.
Agree.
I am concerned that if we are caught skulking about, that it will send the wrong message.
It could be worse. You're right. We could send someone to skulk about and have the remaining members not skulk about. But is that worse, sending one person? Because then they... I don't know. It's a cultural.
Normally, this is the kind of thing I would suggest you do, looking to Virik. But I'm concerned that if they find one of us skulking about, and that person is also a drow, they might be a little.
I mean, they have to
edge.
catch. They have to catch me first. Like, I can run real fast now.
That is true.
But this is their land.
I would be willing to go
that's
take
true.
a look, because also I'm not going to be blinded by the sun.
That'll
This
help.
might be easier for me to look, but also if they do see me, at least I look like someone who's at least from around here.
Okay.
That's fair.
And I want to keep an eye on you then, from
That's-
where we are,
yeah.
to make sure you're safe as best I can.
Sounds good.
I might try and be like an in between. Like, I'll try and stealth but be in between,
reasonable.
so I'm still out of the place, but I'm within range to help out if I need to, or be hidden if I need to. Like,
Both of you
Like, get
give
the
me
fuck out of
stealth
Dodge.
rolls.
Okay. See, it's the daytime. That's the problem. The dice know.
I mean, a 10 is pretty good for rolling a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I rolled a
Oh,
3.
yeah, that is pretty good.
It's perfectly average.
You're more stealthy than I am.
Fine job.
Yes.
It's just because I have
I
a really
have no
high
idea.
dex score.
Now I'm trying to watch for anyone.
Yeah, it's one of
noticing.
those things where as he heads off, you're sort of Tobias is still starting to go around this sort of village, and actually it looks like a party of these people are leaving essentially where he's going to, and they're just going to literally walk in front of him in a few moments.
Okay, I'm gonna whistle, but like I'm gonna do as best I can. I'm gonna mimic one of the whistles that I've heard from any like bird, like do as much of a bird call as I can from the area.
Give
That's...
me a performance roll.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh, it's so bad. Dude. It's such a bad performance because I don't know birds.
We burned 2 natural 20s like almost in a row, and the dice have gone, nah, that's not okay. We gotta even this
All I'm
out.
doing is. I can't. And I'm gonna turn to Eleanor. I forgot I can't whistle.
It's when you sort of in that panic, you kind of looked at her and look back, and there's someone standing there. There is one of these Planavar standing there with a large staff. His beard is long and tangled and white, and the plants that are growing in it are white. He's shirtless and white, and sort of withering plants are growing along his shoulders and back and chest hair and all that sort of area. These are a race of creatures that are literally one with nature. When he just appears there, the ones around Tobias, like, immediately, like, turn with, like, their hunting weapons and, like, point them at
And
him.
I'm gonna respond very calmly in Giant and just say, "Oh, thank goodness! I was worried you were gonna bump into our friend over there without seeing him. We've been
In Giant, he just cuts you off, like, by stamping this staff on the ground and goes, "Explain your presence."
Okay, so we've been exploring, and we came in here because someone that we believed to have been a Planavar threatened some of our people, and we were hoping to discuss that. We were worried that our people had somehow offended you, and that we wanted to make sure that relations were okay. I've come here as best as I can with this group of people to make sure that we...
Mission.
Pardon, sorry?
On a cultural mission.
On a cultural mission to ensure the cultural safety between our peoples.
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh,
You were attacked.
Yes. By creatures that were created out of the nature. Bramble.
And he sort of turns back and his voice booms again through this village and like, stand down. Bring that one over here. And they pull their weapons back, but kind of like walk towards Tobias in a way is like, oh, I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna, yeah, all right, come back. And it kind
stands up as if he thought he was hidden. Like he's just like, yeah, okay,
yeah,
I'm here too.
and bring you
They
back
probably
to the group. And the elder kind of nods to himself and sort of strokes at his beard with a hand, but like it's like tangles in, and goes, "You were attacked by Rulvolk. Yes.
And Burrow's
The
gonna
exile."
So, sorry, this is an out of game. How do you spell that name?
Yeah,
That was
much.
a tough one. I was gonna try and just improv it, but I
Yeah,
couldn't.
no, I started writing it and then I was like, hang on. Oh, I was entirely.
Yeah, I was way off. Perfect, thank you.
It's a giant name.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said the exile. Is he... I'm assuming he's not here then.
Banished, cast out of our lands for worshipping false gods.
Which god was that, or gods were those?
It is not to be spoken of.
Fair enough. Where did you see him go when he was banished?
We do not help outsiders unless they prove themselves to us.
And how may we prove ourselves to you?
You think you have the stones to be a planavar?
I'm
I
not
do.
entirely sure what that means, but yes.
He turns and motions to the ruin. In the old halls of our ancestors, at a trial, complete trial, be honored by the old gods, by the Emperor fallen,
We're good at
and we will help you with the exile. He is a criminal in our lands and in your lands.
Then that is what we will do. Thank you. And Burrowitt's going to bow first and then kind of catch himself and then stand up straight and put out his hand. See if he's gonna go for a shake or not.
The elder kind of turns around and starts walking towards the.
Fair. It's more
Maybe
just
doesn't translate.
testing the waters.
Yeah.
Testing the waters, seeing how that goes. Well, and then in common, so Virik can actually understand us. We're gonna go ruin diving.
Ooh, okay,
There's a
good.
trial.
It's a trial.
Oh, it's a trial. That's cool.
We're good
Yeah.
at those.
Well, we'll see.
We're 1-0 on trials right now.
Yeah, let's make it two.
You're doing all right.
Perfect record. Let's make it 2-0. And
Could I do a religion check, Ollie? See if I
Yes.
know anything about their religion?
I would like to do that as well.
Absolutely, please do. Especially as you're approaching the ruin.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to say. You think maybe there might be more to go off inside the building
Yeah.
when you're
I'm
approaching.
kind of like under the assumption that they're just like the spirits that I know of a different name.
And
kind
actually,
of what I
some
think.
of the spirits are giants, so
Yes.
it's
So
not
fairly-
a strange thought to think that.
Mm-hmm.
As you start to approach, it's an impressively large creature, a ruin, clearly for giant size, whereas the Planavar are much smaller. You have to go through their village, and it's a very natural community they have. You see women who have a sling of leaves that they're nestling babes to their chest with. You see people sort of tanning and cooking simple food. It's not as monstrous as you might have expected. When you
Burrow's
get
taking notes of all this as well, like full detailed cultural notes of
course.
how they treat it. You're just making sure it's known.
You got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You then enter you get to the doorway of this ruin with the giant head above it, and the elder sort of stops and kind of motions. Goes, go into the halls of ancestors.
Well, no time like the present. And Orwit's gonna start walking forward.
Oh, he said go. Okay, and then I'm gonna start walking.
It
as well.
all of a sudden gets very dark in there. When you enter, there's a small area where there's tiles of stone that are giant-sized, where the roots and the grasses of this area have kind of reclaimed and overgrown them, and maybe it's slightly difficult terrain to get over, but Tobias is like, no, you climb this way, follow me. Inside, it's one of those ruins so old that it has also started to be reclaimed by nature itself. There's more natural cavern-like areas. The ceiling is very tall. I mean, it's around 40 feet in some places, higher in others, and of a very brilliant construction. Real quick, I just need to do something. Don't worry about what I'm
Okay.
doing. Please do not
You know,
concern yourselves.
And behind.
Pro
As
tip:
soon as it
anytime
gets,
your
like-
DM says, "Don't worry about what I'm doing,"
Yeah.
worry about what they're doing.
Yeah, like, as soon as it starts getting dark, Virik would actually do dancing lights, do the whole. You would put one above Tobias and Brute, and then he would turn to Eleanor and be like, "Do you want one too? Or can you see? I don't know."
That would be welcome, thank you.
Okay, and I'll do one for her, and then I'll have the last one. Instead of being above me, I'll have it be where I'm looking. So I'm still in the darkness, but be like moving it around to just look at things on the walls and stuff like that.
So actually something very interesting is going to happen here.
Ooh, okay.
His curse isn't totally detrimental.
See, useful.
It is quite lovely.
Yeah, it's almost the way we
It's
describe
Although
like-
I am worried about his own spirit being lost in it.
It's like a nice blue light as well. It's like not the normal like yellowish light.
Yeah, it's a cute little cursed light. You immediately you're walking through and Tobias, you're on edge. You probably have your bow out.
Oh, totes.
And but Barut is the one leading. You actually swear you hear something, almost like a bat, and you actually aim up, and you see kind of a conical creature of flesh and tendrils launching downwards that no one else sees as it kind of moves in the darkness. And you can actually get a shot off at this thing as it launches towards your party before everyone else gets a chance to react.
Okay.
You said not to worry. You lied to us.
Could you?
Not worry.
How could you?
I lie a lot. For fun
Ooh.
and pleasure. That's a hit.
Perfect. For 7 piercing.
7 piercing. Alrighty then. So, why don't you guys roll me initiative real quick? As this, as he fires an arrow with the light, you are currently aware of this strange conical creature sort of launching downwards. I'm not using a battle.
Like as he fires the arrow, I would move the dancing light to where he fired it, and then I assume that's all like I get to do before suddenly initiative. Like, oh what?
Also, I want to point out what's on this post-it note, and I didn't do it, but oh, it's in reverse. Never mind. If you can read reverse, it's, you know, good on
I
you.
think it's. Oh, don't worry about it.
Shields up.
Is it oh, I'm about to ask. Monstrous?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
That's not
Sometimes-
good.
Sometimes
No,
it
that's
goes wrong.
great.
No, it's great for him, not good for us. Oh, does that mean he does a little more damage to it, or?
I don't think so. Actually, wait, yes, it does. I don't remember. Let me look.
One does, one doesn't. You know what? We'll use this lad for this.
Yes, it means that he takes an extra 2 damage. So that shot that I
Ooh.
fired did.
Nice.
I just realized I never turned the dice back on. I'll put it in the battle. I forgot.
Oh,
damn. Well,
Oh,
he's
he's so far away. He's like off the coast. We're
Oh, there we
fine.
go.
You
What?
can't even see him.
Off the coast? Oh, okay.
He's on the other side of the continent. We're fine right now.
Look, the chat can't see the map that you're memeing around on right now.
Oh wow, yeah, he's way the fuck over there.
So this thing, actually, you take a shot at it, and it sort of makes a... and opens up, almost like a squid, where this beak in the middle comes out, and it will fly with great speed and try to attack you, Tobias.
Okay.
What is your armor class?
15.
It actually flies to you, and you manage to just duck as it goes right over your head. Some of its tendrils that are coming off of it sort of drag and like pull at you and like sucker to you, but it does not grab you.
Okay.
Next up is everyone's fucking turn. Virik.
Okay, so seeing that happen, I'm like, what the? And then just throw my boomerang. Just fuck.
That's a hit.
Sweet. Finally hit with this thing. And
Oh,
then
yeah,
go to
that's like a
catch.
good hit, too. Like, as it goes past you, you're not going to be able to get a melee attack off on it. Oh.
No,
yeah,
that's
you can't.
catching it. That's
Oh,
catching the
yes. Yeah, you, like, throw this thing, and it, like, crunches into the side of it, and it kind of, like, flies off course before it catches itself again. You actually have seen these things before, Virik. You're the only one who has.
Oh, okay. What?
They are an Underdark creature called a Dark Mantle.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah,
fancy
familiar
that.
with this because of.
Yep.
Tobias.
Like, I would say that, like, Dark Mantle, and probably say, make sure it doesn't get you. I wouldn't elaborate, but, like,
Just
all I
give
can
a
go
thumbs
with.
As
up.
per usual, just the usual then.
Is it?
Make sure it doesn't grab you. I'd say get you, though, so you wouldn't understand what I said. Like, you
No.
might understand, but...
Is it adjacent to me?
No. Kind of did
Okay.
a flyby.
Then I'm gonna shoot it with my bow. Hold on. There we go. Oof.
No, you don't. Sort of.
I shoot an arrow at the ground.
Well, you're sort of shooting up into the darkness with the weird light you've got going on that you're still not completely accustomed to.
That is my turn.
Eleanor. It is outside of sword range.
Yeah, I assume so. So I'm gonna try to hit the javelin.
Oh. That's brutal.
Wow.
That's real brutal. You definitely javelin it. Barut.
I'm dropping my shield, and I'm putting the sword away, right? Because that's a free action, is it?
Yes. And then a bonus action take out your bow, so yeah, you might as well.
Cool. Taking my bow out, and I'm gonna shoot at it with my short bow, and I'm gonna miss because I'm not good with this thing. It was so close, but it wasn't.
Then this thing is gonna fly at Eleanor. It's gonna roll real good.
All right.
And it is going to just encompass your head. Just go like a freaking squid. The
That's what I
tentacles
meant.
sort of gripping and suckering and gripping all around.
Well, at least it's a melee range now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's more like
Always look on the bright side. We need this in our party.
Yeah. A little bit of optimism because we definitely don't have that already.
It deals that will be 6 damage to you, Eleanor.
Okay.
And then it's Virik's turn. It is like just sucking around like crunk, making this horrible
well,
noise.
having seen this before, would I know that like I can maybe try and attack it, like the top of it to try and?
Yeah, you can either attack the top of it or you can try and rip it off.
Oh, I'm gonna go in for the attack thing. We've hit this thing, at least what looks hard. I don't know if it's actually hard or not, but it looked like it was hurt. So I'm gonna.
You actually
I'm
have
gonna
some
run
good
up and
atta-
just.
It's one of those things where you kind of like attacked into the darkness, but it's definitely like bleeding and very badly injured when you can see it now. Because you
Okay,
can see
so
it
I'm gonna
because it ate your dancing light and it's glowing from the inside. Because you had it above
Yes.
her head.
Yeah.
That's true, actually. Yeah. So I'm gonna run up and maybe like do a jumping stab at the top of it with the short sword. Ooh.
Roll a 1.
So you,
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't roll a one, that would've been
Eleanor
badly.
is struggling, so you go like, and she's like, that's how it does.
Oh.
Whoosh.
God, hold still, and then just try and like smash it off with
Don't
a
punch her in the face.
Very muffled,
That's a hit,
unintelligible words.
Oh, that's a hit. Sweet.
and that's actually a kill. So you actually just punch it, and all of a sudden, like all the like crunching it's doing on you, it just goes like limp, and you're just like.
I imagine what you actually see is Virik like is looking for a spot he's seen people do before because he
Yes.
would have seen them fighting it and they fought it with
yeah.
like fists and stuff. Like,
Pap.
hey,
Yeah, in like
what?
and like it has eyes around its head, and just they're mostly closed, and one just opens, and it's like, poof. It's like.
Yeah.
It kind of like starts wrinkling up, and you can
Ugh.
pull it off, and
You wanna just,
there's
like,
Stop
slime.
pulling it off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not pleasant, but you know, calamari. So
Yeah.
I like push my hair back out of my face and just covered in slime.
I'm gonna retrieve my shield and put away my bow and take out my longsword just in case there's anything else in here.
So
do you
yeah,
want
sorry. That's what I meant by get you. Those things, they jump down roof. They look like stalactite things, and then they grab you. They can also make the room dark enough that I can't see, which is strange.
And you said they were called dark mantles.
At least that's what the others call them. Yeah.
Huh. And Pruitt takes notes of
Detailed
everything.
notes.
Yeah. Even like physiology drawings. Since
Yeah,
we
like
have-
considering it's on the ground, you do like a very
Yeah.
quick sketch.
Yeah,
of it on the
exactly.
ground.
The eye's a little bashed in.
Yeah, yeah. I compensate for that with my artistic skill. Not very well, mind you.
And then
because
after you allow Barut a couple of minutes to sketch,
yeah.
you continue traveling into large chambers that were clearly built for huge creatures. Reclaimed ever so slightly by nature, but the deeper you get, the more pristine it is as a ruin. It's almost like it's been protected. The halls are beautiful in a kind of pragmatic way. There's not a lot of decoration, but you actually do see on the end of a very vast chamber a statue. But it's so far away, even the people with dark vision can't see it. And as you start approaching the large statue at the end of the chamber, we're going to come back to it next week.
Oh, that'd be where you cut it.
Yeah.
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 So, with that, why don't we start our circle of fame with our person here on the right. Right? You ever do, like worry that you get left or right wrong? I do that all the time with north, east, south, west, where I'm like so worried. Because even,
I
for
always
example,
do that.
on the Jarviskjir map, there's two
North, south,
easts.
east, west.
Because I got worried and stupid.
Love it.
This is why you proofread. So,
Oh yeah.
Dungeon Papa.
I was gonna say who's
Dad.
on the right because I'm still on your right. Okay.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
me.
the zoom screen's nothing to do with it. You're on my right. Who are you? How are you? What are you working on?
What up? My name is Josiah, also known as Dungeon Dad around the internet. I make YouTube videos about D&D stuff, primarily about monsters. So if you're a DM and you want to use cool monsters that are from like super old books or weird editions of Dragon Magazine your players haven't heard of and catch them off guard, that is the place to go. I just did a video that came out today about Brain Stealer dragons, which is a
I need
Mind
to
Flayer
watch that.
I
dragon.
need to go see that.
Yeah, that I was actually like super excited when you mentioned that.
Yeah, it was meant to
As
come out
a
on
thing.
Friday, but pro tip, if you're doing a conversion of a monster, never do dragons because it takes forever because there's a lot to balance.
They've completely changed them like every edition.
Yeah, but yeah, it turned out pretty cool. They're extremely creepy, and that comes out every Friday. And next Friday, we're doing a video about Jannies, which is a genie that doesn't align itself with any specific plane.
And that's good because they exist in Jarviskjir, but I don't have stats for them.
Well, you will next
I
week.
will next week.
It's basically a material plane aligned genie. They're from 2nd edition and they're pretty neat. So that's that.
Awesome. Awesome. I don't know where that came from. Awesome. I'm very tired. Someone else who's probably very tired as well. Aaron, down there in the bottom, the new brilliant, overpowered paladin. Paladins are really strong until they're not.
Yeah. And I'm not playing like the greatest.
Yeah, exactly.
Archetype, whatever they're called, paladins. Oath. I'm not playing the greatest like oath. Like
Oath, yeah.
anyway, so I'll fall off pretty fast. Not concerned about that. My name's Aaron. I play a lot of D&D. Play a lot of D&D with Ollie and Delbert over on his channel.
Boo.
But my character on that show is very fun on
Yes.
his Friday show. Very different.
Keeps it fresh.
Interesting.
My second session
I
with you
mean, that's
guys.
pretty much what I did. Oh, did you enjoy that session?
Yes. My second session with you guys. and
She's
it
not
was-
a murder hobo. She's a murder
No.
captain.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
Yeah, for some reason the party put me in charge. So that's not my fault.
It was a choice. It was
The
a
plot
choice.
put you in charge.
So I do that, and then I'm pretty active on the False Pretenses Discord as well. If you want to chat there, I like talking
Down
about D&D.
below, there's a Discord link. If you, I keep forgetting to shout it out, but seriously join the Discord. It's a super nice community where there's conversations like every day about D&D rules, about jokes, about any and everything, pretty much.
I love real chat. I love lore chat. So
Yeah, there's also a spoiler chat for Jarviskjir if you want to talk about the sessions down there, and also a spoiler chat about all the other shows on False Pretenses, which is me and Delwick. So you should join, because not many people talk about the spoiler chat in Jarviskjir, because nothing dramatic has happened yet.
No.
That's where it it takes off.
Yeah.
But you can talk to the cast about their ideas and opinions, and someone else with ideas and opinions is Tesh. Tesh.
Yes, hello. I am Tesh of the Tesh Tube on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. You can find me, but Twitter's the best place to. If you follow me one place, follow me Twitter, because I talk about everything else I'm doing there. You can find me on this show and now 2 other shows on Wednesday at 8 p.m.
5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then on Thursday at 8 p.m. I didn't say the channel. On Diamond Worm's channel is the first one for Wednesday, and then 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tanta's channel, the Dracovian Empire. Sorry, time zone conversions, annoying. I hate them.
I just don't bother anymore.
Yeah.
Speaking of someone else who doesn't bother anymore,
That was
reason
perfect.
why there's no more love in our relationship.
Look, it's
Will.
been a few Thursdays since we've spent time together, and we need to fix that.
I feel like you don't think I'm important anymore.
That's just not true.
Who are you? How are you? What are you working on? Look, I can't do these jokes with Neil, so I have to. You're a replacement,
Yeah.
Neil.
No, you know what? I'll accept it for now, but you know,
Gotta
I'm
strive
sure
to
that,
earn your own place.
Yeah, yeah. Twitch.tv/WinterBearGames. Lots of stuff going on there. I'm on shows on other people's channels. Today is, here for Jarviskjir, which is awesome and fun and amazing, and I look forward to every week. And then Mondays is Siege with the Boys at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All of mine are going to be in Pacific Standard Time. Screw time conversions. Wednesdays starting either this week or next week, because I think that might be a confusing thing. I am also going to be on the Stars Without Number game over on Diamond Worm's channel, and then Thursdays I'm also over with Matt at the Dracovian Empire, same times as Tesh said. And then Fridays I've joined the Eberron game, actually officially now, which is awesome. So I get to watch Kieran, or Aaron here, murder a bunch of people.
It's not. Here's
They're
the
not
thing.
people.
I think Kieran was created to take her rage out at Scott, and also the rage she got from her retail job.
Yes.
Now you don't work retail. I don't know if the rage is going to be there, so we might see a calmer Kieran. I don't know.
We'll
There's a
see.
chance.
But I'm also going to be playing a new
Probably
character.
not.
Starting next week, next Friday. So new character from me starting then.
The other one couldn't handle.
The other one was like, Kieran just murdered a bunch of people, and I'm not about that. And
We also made that character together literally to last a couple of sessions. Like there was nothing going on in that character.
He was designed for 3 sessions. He was designed specifically to last for 3 sessions. He lasted for 2, and that's fine.
Speaking of lasting for 2 minutes, it's me. You can find me at Twitch and Twitter at olirant. If you want more of me, which you should, because I'm the best, my main other show is Stars Without Number Ardent on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. British Standard Time. It is a really good time. If you like your sci-fi a little more gritty, a little more down to earth, even though Earth has been lost, you should check it out. I'm really proud of everything I do here. On other days of the week, you can find me usually here at 9 p.m. Currently playing RimWorld with vampires and a Cthulhu mod. It is insane and brilliant. And I'm also on Lost Initiative this week on Thursday, Eberron on Friday, Interloper on Saturday, maybe. And that's me. I am overworked. And with that, we're going to end. See you later. See you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.